Are there other causes of gender-based violence? Especially, we started by saying that gender-based violence is not just about women, also about men. So what are the other causes, especially bringing it to the home front, which most of the cases, gender-based violence is in the home front most of the time?
You don't supposed to talk, you're a woman. I supposed to do the talking. You are a girl, you don't supposed to be in this place. The boy's supposed to be there. And before you know, there's rivalry between the male child and the female child, or the man is bullying the woman because he felt she's overstepping her boundary as a woman. And all this bounds to culture. The culture said, a woman, don't do this. So the man feels he's more important. He's more significant than you, the woman. Why under the law we're all equal? Is she not a human being? She has a brain to think. She has the ability to produce. She has the manpower to be somebody special in the society. But you see, because she's a woman, she shouldn't inherit anything. He said he was abused when he was a little boy. How? A grown-up lady used him.
Yeah.
And he said since then, she instilled a notion in him that whenever he saw a woman or a girl, all he wanted is sex.
Yeah. Welcome to Safe Conversation Podcast. I'm your host, Precious Anyuzi. Well, today with me in the studio is Mrs. Esther Yusuf Yakubu. She is the Senior Programs Officer of HANDS, and HANDS is Health and Development Support Program. And we're going to be talking about the Unbroken Spirit. The Unbroken Spirit, building a world free from violence. It's so good to have you, Mrs. Esther.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here with me to talk about such a very personal conversation, and it's about the unbroken spirit. It almost feels like most Nigerians are broken in one way or the other, and we don't pay attention to it. And especially we're centering it around gender-based violence. So there's this conception that everyone knows what gender-based violence. One of the myths is that people think that gender-based violence is only about the female gender, and they only limit it to physical and sexual abuse. But for persons who really don't know or assume they know what gender-based violence is, can you tell us what gender-based violence is?
Thank you very much for that wonderful question. Before we go deep into discussing what GBV is, which is gender-based violence, we need to know the definition of gender-based violence. There are so many definitions relating to GBV, but I just picked two. It refers to the violence that are directly at individual based on their gender, often rooted in power imbalance and social norms. These are some of the definitions, but that of WHO, it says GBV is a violation of human rights driven by inequalities between men and women in a society. So GBV can be caused in several ways, based on strength and position, power. There are so many forms that could lead to GBV.
Okay.
So for just the definition, we can see that it's not limiting on a woman or a man.
Yeah.
It covers
gender. Both gender.
Men, women, boys, and girls.
Okay. So in talking about GBV, why does gender-based violence happen? Why will someone emit harm and choose to be violent to another human being?
Well, it happens for so many reasons and so many factors. Before I go into the factors, let me just give you a little story about myself being a victim when I was growing. Well, we don't know with a GBV. Then if any boy behave that way, they'll say, this boy is stubborn. But technology, education is making it to be put in a more better way called GBV. I was just walking, returning from school, singing, happy. Then a group of boys were just standing. And they wanted me. They said, hey, come here. I ignored them. And the next thing is they used their Rubalin. And they used it on my face. and it gives me a bruise. They all rushed. Who are you? What do you think you are? We are calling you, you're turning your back. Well, then we don't know that this is GBV. All I said, oh, these boys are stubborn. But these are some of the GBV. Some they feel, okay, I'm stronger than you. I can attack you and nothing you will do. And others, based on the interaction in the community, most things that cause GBV, poverty and lack of knowledge on GBV, lack of awareness and position hierarchy and the poor, the rich, the rich can bully the poor, and so many factors that people are beginning to wonder, why are these things happening? So GBV could be factors with so many things, but most of the commonly that we see in the society, it's poverty.
Explain how poverty is one of the reasons for gender-based violence.
Good. You see, we had a focus group discussion in a community because my interest is going to the roots and trying to discuss why GBV. And all they could say is, he doesn't have money, or the woman she's making money and the man is not making money. He uses force on her to get what he wants. And at times, they felt this group of people are rich. So what can we do to retrieve? It resorts to violence. They use forces in getting what they want just for them to be in the same position with the others. But when we try to talk over with the people, why poverty and all is the society. The society is not making things available for people to stay within their lane and to work hard to earn a living. So mostly when you go where there is GBV, it ends up on poverty.
Are there other causes of gender-based violence? Especially, we started by saying that gender-based violence is not just about women, also about men. So what are the other causes, especially bringing it to the home front, which most of the cases, gender-based violence is in the home front most of the time. So what are other causes?
You see, I've said earlier, masculinity. I'm stronger than you. And cultural norms. You don't supposed to talk, you're a woman. I supposed to do the talking. You are a girl, you don't supposed to be in this place. The boy's supposed to be there. And before you know, there's rivalry between the male child and the female child, or the man is bullying the woman because he felt she's overstepping her boundary as a woman. And all this bounds to culture. The culture said, a woman, don't do this. So the man feels he's more important. He's more significant than you, the woman. Why under the law we're all equal? So let me just leave the law. In some of our religious books, we mention, the books mention we are all equal before God. And now the law is backing it. We are all equal. So why trying to show the woman you are better than her? Or you, the boys, you are better than her? So these are some of the things that leads to violence in the home. Probably they start sharing something, they'll say, okay, give the boy this, give the girl this. In culture, we believe that a girl doesn't supposed to inherit anything.
Yeah.
Why? Why not? Is she not a human being? She has a brain to think. She has the ability to produce. She has the manpower to be somebody special in the society. But you say because she's a woman, she shouldn't inherit anything. And that gives the boys a lift over the women. And probably the boy has no sense of managing those inheritance. But being they said is a culture, man first before a woman, the inheritance is being given to him. And before you know it, hatred occurs between the siblings. And after this hatred result into violence. And the violence could lead to so many things, which this is what we are trying to preach against.
All right. Do you believe that a man can be abused? Mark,
Very well.
so can you list the ways that a man can be abused?
Good. There was a time last year we were doing road work. I love to give examples because I work within the community. So we were talking about GBV, and a man just tapped me on my back. I turned, what is it? You women are so selfish. And I go, sorry? He said, why are you only campaigning for women? What about women? And I go, what is wrong with you, man? I need to lower my voice. He said, don't you know that some of us are being abused too? I said, wow, that is interesting. So tell me, who abused you? You are in the right place, so let's talk it. He said he was abused when he was a little boy. How? A grown-up lady used him.
Yeah.
And he said since then, she instilled a notion in him that whenever he saw a woman or a girl, all he wants is sex.
Yeah.
Mentally. And I might think that is what he wants. But somebody has caused a trauma
Yeah.
to his thinking. So we said, good. But have you gone for help? Did you call for any counseling? He said no, because even if he goes, the women are taking over everything. I said, now you are at the right place. When he finished talking, he walked away. So I think there are several men that are abused, and so many examples that I could give of men being abused. And that's why when we start talking, we try to make the men to understand it's not a woman thing or a girl thing. There are some women are stronger than men. And when they start beating the men, you see blue, black, and red.
Yeah.
So
But
all
then,
this
did the society believe them? I hear a lot of times where a man says the reason why they cannot talk about their abuse is because they don't believe them, or society shame them for being beaten by a woman. Even their fellow men say, how can you be? I remember someone, just practical story about the man being raped, like you talked about. Several men have been raped by women, even when they're grown up or when they're children. But they ask them, tell me, say you know, enjoy it. Like, like, how can you say a woman raped you? And you tell me that you do not enjoy it? So that is the stereotype that comes with a man's abuse. And could it be the reason why they're short to seek help or talk about their experiences?
Yes, this is one of it. But as I've said earlier, culture is putting a terrible notion in the hearts of both men, boys. There are some men we talk with. Why is it you don't open up? Just the way you said it. You want me to talk so that they'll start laughing at me, a man, woman beating you? Then you are not a man. You should be called a woman. You know, because they believe in the culture, a man should not cry. A man shouldn't complain.
Be a man.
Be a man. Be a man. Own up to it. And that is why they end up dying young. But if the men could stand up and see something, we know just the way God created everything, or the feminine and the masculine, there are some women are more stronger than men.
Very true.
And if they start dealing with the man,
Apart from that, even our sharp tongue. You know, one of the things the men go through is the emotional abuse.
Yes.
Our
yes.
sharp tongue.
We do. I think that's our own way of telling them we don't like what you are doing. Because if you could sit with a woman, listen to her complain, I don't think she'll use that sharp tone on you. But if you use more of your hands on a woman, then she will use her tongue and her mouth in case of any situation. Why? Prevention is better than cure. For self-defense, she'll start talking to tell you she's ready. But in the real sense, if you hit once, she'll calm down. So some of the men, of course, they go emotional trauma. But some of the men that goes emotional trauma is because they use more of their hands.
Could it be that's the reason? Because I've seen innocent men who are just sweet. A lot of times we prioritize, even though, yes, we always say that gender-based violence is both male and women and female. But in reality, especially in some cultures, women are more seen when we're talking about gender-based violence. So the man is like the second case. And I've interacted with women, ladies, that you get this impression. So somebody will marry you. Like you can know that this person has a very hard heart. Like this person has a bad temper and a bad character, or someone that just is in it for her own selfish interest. And a man goes through that, is married to her and deals with, even though he's a good man, especially with the economy, he struggles to provide and he's been belittled at home. His self-esteem is tarnished. And this is what they go through, because it's not like the scars you see on a woman's body. The scars is in his emotions, in his self-esteem, but it's still violence, it's still abuse.
It's still an abuse.
So how then do we protect survivors then? If we're talking about,
Well-
we're having several conversations about gender-based violence, and sadly so, I want to believe that we're making an impact, but with that, there's still more cases of gender-based violence, and even when we keep having them, it's as if we just talk to them and we just let them go. But how do we protect survivors from domestic violence, from gender-based violence?
You see, the first way to protect a survivor is when the person speak up. Because I cannot just see a woman and assume you've been abused. Or I cannot see a man and just assume you've been abused. No. I'm over crossing my boundary because that's a family issue. But by the time you speak out, there are so many establishments, there are so many NGOs, there are so many governments set up that you could go there for help. But as long as you keep it to yourself, just the way we believe our culture, no, when they beat you, don't say it too, because people also will laugh that your husband is hitting you and you just smile at it. While inside you, you are dying. So the inside death is what we are trying to prevent.
The inside.
Because the more your inside is not balanced, your physical will not be balanced. Because whatever sins in the physical is from the inside. So if women and men that are being abused should step out and said, I've been abused. We have people that specialize in counseling, rehabilitation. We have people that could assist you by empowering. There are people that will educate you. I try to go around following from the police station to some court offices, legal offices, to find out the number of people being abused in Plateau State. And the number I got, I looked at them and laughed.
Startling, yeah.
I said, no, this cannot be a reality. And the fact is, he said, this one that they have given us is those that took the bull by the horn.
Yeah.
And said, no, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I need to let the authority know I'm being abused. So these are just the few that are bold enough to step out.
And it's nothing compared to the reality of the people who are being abused.
A lot. I did a focus group discussion in a community, men separately, women separately, just the way you say the men were complaining. The women, before you go talk this, and because he's a man, they will say, don't do anything. But emotionally,
Yeah.
he's in pain. And the women, they will cry that the men, when you ask them of this, instead of talking, some of them, probably they are pissed off from their place of work, transfer of aggression. The next thing is they will hit. And if they hit you, you just sit in the room and cry. Clean your face, step out smiling as if nothing has happened.
You said something which is key. You can't help survivors who don't report, who don't say, this is what I'm going through. But like you said, there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of reasons why a person would just choose to keep it to himself. Culture, religious beliefs. And most of the times where families I want to settle it in-house, or I don't want to break my home, my children, or whatever it is that makes them. Is there a way the law can come into a show? We see that in developed countries, that as soon as they hear, they don't need your permission, they take you out. They save the victim from the abusive situation. Is there a way the law can come in to help?
Well, the law can only come to help in that regard when it's being said openly to the society. When we have a sign as if something is going wrong, the law will go into it. And all is because we are trying to prevent it from getting critical. We in Nigeria or the African culture is mind your business. Is it your family? Like the Hausa man who said, I paid for her. As if he went to the market to purchase goods. I paid for her. So it's my problem, it's not yours. So I think the government needs to do a lot. And a lot in the sense that we go to the mosques, the churches, the community town hall, talk to them about the danger of GBV. And if not in control, this is the next step. Because you can't just go into people's situation without giving them a warning. So there is always a sign. Don't do this. If you do, this is what we'll do.
Yeah.
So by the time the law goes into it, at least, yes, we went to your church, the mosques, the community town hall, and we've spoken about GBV, and we said this will be the consequences in case of any sign.
Yeah.
Nobody has to blame the law. But for now, the law is always saying that if you don't come to me, I can't go to you. So you too, the law
For the
should
people
look
who
you
have
up.
for the people who have gone to the law, how many have gotten justice? We
That
have
is the question.
how many have gotten justice? We have several cases in police station that have gone to the court and it's still delayed. For the one that was popularly known, Osinachi, how many years ago? Just recently that the verdict was
Yes,
given,
yes.
and many more. And there's a practical. I was in the seminar on gender-based violence, and a woman stood up to say her experience that her daughter was raped by a police officer in the environment, and she reported. He was arrested, taken behind bars, and a few days later she was on the street and the man was saying, hi is your daughter?
Can you imagine?
So in that case, what gives a person the courage to bring out you? It's like your dirty linen. Yeah, why would you want to bring out your dirty linen when you're not sure that justice will be given?
Prevail.
Yeah,
That is just it. So I think the law too needs to look inside its institution.
yeah.
What is it we are not doing right?
Because if we're encouraging people to step out, that means the law should also,
Yes,
we're
do
not just,
something for that victim.
Yeah.
But you cannot ask me to come and speak out, and later on it will be pushed under the carpet, which is the norms in this country. So I think we need to work not only on the survivors. The law should stand up for what it's known for.
Yeah.
If you're known for justice, do that.
Yeah.
No matter how long it will take, as long as the justice will come, please do it so that more people that are hiding their faces will come out and see what is really happening to them.
Amazing. Well, you kept mentioning a very key aspect of gender-based violence, which a lot of people neglect, because even when the law has been made its course and justice be prevail, a lot of times we just let the person go and not paying attention to the person's mental health.
Yeah.
A person has been abused severely, raped severely by her father or her uncle or by the nanny, and we arrest the person and then everything is done. And we feel like the job is done. You made mention about mental health, and that's what we want to talk about right now. What's the importance of mental health to a survivor? Is it important? We will always say that Nigerians or Africans, we don't see therapists. We don't talk about our problems to total strangers. Well, has that helped us as an individual, as a people?
Mental health is very, very, very important to a victim. If your mental health it's not well, physically you won't be well. And then if we see mad people on the street, we say their mental health. Because they are mad, they are working naked or very dirty or talking to themselves. But little did we know that all Nigerians have mental health.
Yeah. We have one issue.
Because 5 minutes you'll be having mental health. You see how now? Okay, you just stand. Oh my God, this you alone. But you are owing your God. What is it? You have mental health at that period. And all you need is an intervention.
So, who are those survivors of gender based violence that need to pay attention or get therapy or, psychosocial help for their traumatic experiences? Is it important? Would you say it's an important step to healing?
Very important step because any victim of GBV develop trauma, depression, self self esteem. You feel as if the whole world knows what has happened to you. And before you know, psychologically, you begin to develop this mental health. Some of them you see them talking to themselves. If you go to SAC, we have been in Chicago, you see some of the patients, they come out, they're just talking. You'll be wondering whether it's a mad person.
Yeah.
It's because of the trauma she has gone through in the hands of our victims.
I know of a man who was raped by his uncle, and now he's struggling with his sexuality. He's saying he's now attracted to, sexually attracted to
Yes,
men.
yes.
Those are also part of the trauma.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's part of the trauma. And all you need to do is to be fast and go to where you can assess mental health intervention, where they can rehabilitate you, counsel you, because mostly it has to do with the way you think.
Yeah.
Because if you're abused, your thinking totally changed. Anybody you see on the road is like is trying to abuse me. If you're a girl, and if you're a male child too, you want to hide yourself from the people that abused you. And before you know it, instead of being productive, that person will be unproductive. Be afraid to go out to participate. Be afraid to think of what will do next for his own life or her own life. All she wants to do is, who will avenge for me?
How then did we get this mental health treatment? I know that some therapists or psychologists they charge a lot. It's quite expensive for
It
just
is.
this session.
It
But
is.
also I'm aware that there are NGOs, even the Plateau States, provide free psychosocial help.
Yeah,
So it's accessible.
it is. When you go to some of the NGOs that offer mental health intervention,
Yeah.
it's very accessible. And in some places, it's little or no cost at all.
Yeah.
And they will help you. After that, they will empower you.
Oh wow.
So at least most of the victims, when they have this GBV, the things that lead to the GBV, it's what we want to do away with. Somebody might abuse a girl, probably she has been staying at home doing nothing. Like one of the story they brought when I was doing my IT in an hospital. A little girl of 7 years, an elderly man raped her. And why? Because they always keep the girl with him. Being they thought, oh, he's an elderly man. He's not going to do anything funny. And unfortunately, he ended up raping the girl. So they rushed her to the hospital. We are trying to investigate all the necessary thing that happened between the old man and her. Reported it to the police, as you said, and nothing was done. So we try to pull people out of mental health by empowering them, educating them, and if possible, you try to see the way you can make them feel they are out of it. Some of them, they don't have job. When you give them business, it keeps their mind far away from thinking. And instead of taking their thoughts back to the issue that make them so unproductive, they'll be thinking on how to make their life better. So there are so many ways. Apart from educating, rehabilitating, you can empower the victims.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that these three things, when put together, though the healing comes gradually, but it will definitely come.
Do you see a society where gender based violence is reduced to the barest minimum or eradicated? And what does that society look like? Is it possible?
It's possible, but it's like a long time project. Why? Because as you are growing, we are being educated on GBV. There are younger ones coming that they don't know anything about GBV, and they could be actors on that area.
Yeah.
So it's possible to have a reduced GBV free society, but it's a long time thing. Why? Because as you're growing old, others are coming. You need to be educating them.
Yeah.
And that will bring the reduction. But when you say elimination, I'm beginning to talk entities. When you talk of eradicating GBV completely, I don't think it's anytime soon.
Okay.
Because
It's a long
it's a
process.
long one. It's a long one because we are human.
Yeah.
And everybody has his thought. You can even talk to some people about GBV. They will still listen, but they have made up their mind to go out and act it.
So all hands to be on deck. It's a
Exactly. It's a long time thing. And it's not something when you do it now, you go
it's,
back and sit down and relax. Oh, I've created awareness. Let me rest. No.
okay.
You have to be on your
Active.
toe.
Okay.
Like the people we had a focus group discussion with them. Each year we try to go and we try to make the word head. Please, this is something that monthly you should call your people and talk about it since it's in the community. But as an NGO or other bodies, it's something that should be on top of it all the time for people to get to know it, hold it, and act it.
Okay. It's justice. When we talk about justice for the victim, beyond the legal justice, what other forms of justice is good for, is crucial for the survivor in their healing process and also to feel empowered and also sending the message that you don't just do things and get away with it. Do you think justice, beyond legal justice, is important? And what's the aspect of justice?
Yeah, beyond legal justice is very important. And other justice that could be included, there is emotional justice, which has to do with validation and supporting the victims. We have restoration justice, which has to do with accountability and reparation. When somebody own up to, yes, I did this, is the stepping stone to avoid it. But if he doesn't own up and is the doer of the GBV, he will continue. So at least this restoration is the stage of admitting, yes, I am bad in this and I want to stop it. Then we have the economic justice, which is partially what is happening in the home base, has to do with financial support, economic empowerment. I was talking on GBV and I say financial GBV. The men say, no, you need to explain what this financial GBV mean. And I said, yes, you can cause GBV financially when you deprive the woman right to resources. You're supposed to be giving her money for feeding, and you said no. Psychologically, she's affected.
Yeah.
Probably she's not working. Where do you expect her to get the money? So that's some of the justice. Then we have healing justice, which we are talking. This is access to service. Those people affected, is there places they can go and access freely or with little or no cost at all? Then we have holistic support, their general well-being, teaching them how to take care of themselves, telling them, do this, don't do that. These are some of the justice that, when included, can help survivors heal, feel empowered, and rebuild their lives once again.
Oh, wow. It's been an amazing time with you, Mrs. Esther. Enjoyed the conversation. But before I let you go, what is that final word you have for us?
Well, safe house, just as the name implies, safe house. Please do more for GBV victims. We have a lot of them. And the only way they can come out if they are well educated on the aspect of GBV. We wish Safe House to grow more, expand more, and do more for the society.
But what's your word for the listener, for that person listening right now?
Well, you listening right now, if you are a victim, don't mute. Speak out. The first step for you to get recover is by speaking out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Esther Yusuf Jacob. It's been a great time having you here.
Thank you,
And
too.
it's been very empowering. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
I hope we make use of the knowledge we got. Thank you so much. We have you next time on Safe Conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.